Hello everyone, I am here today with a new process video, and this one is a little bit different. I'm working on my Canada album, and as you can see, I just have two maps here. My plan is to use an attacher. Let me show you. One of these right here from Citrus Twist to put these back to back and have it go in my album. And I want to do this because we did take a paid tour, a walking tour when we were there, and it took us mainly through, like, they have a tunnel system under the city, similar to like what we do with a skyway system in St. Paul and Minneapolis. And we thought, well, this is cool because it said, we're going to show you stuff that the normal tourist doesn't see by using this, set of paths to get around the city. So we're like, okay, that sounds cool. We're going to do it. So I want to be able to show like some of the different places that we went on that tour when we were walking. So I need to get these back to back, and then I haven't decided if I want to use little stars, arrows, asterisks, what, I don't know. But my plan is I would like to highlight some of the stuff, the sites we saw, like landmarks that are on here, so you can kind of follow our trail. So that's my plan. How that actually works out, I don't know. We'll see. It's just a thought at this point. But even if I didn't do that, I would still want to at least include the maps, because I think it's helpful just to kind of get an idea for a city, especially when it's somebody else looking at the album. But even a good reminder for me, because 10 years from now, am I going to remember all this on my own? No, it's very likely no, I won't. So I want to get this in there. Okay, so in looking at these maps, it's kind of interesting because we started at Roy Thompson Hall for the tour, and on this map, it's way up here. This is a map specific to the path, which is that underground maze thing that we used. So we started here. When you look at this other map, that's part of the entertainment district. That hall is here. So you can see like this, these are quite different in the way that they're laid out. So we walked from here all along the water and then ended up kind of off the map with this one here. We walked from here. It looks a lot farther, but it's the same distance. We walked from here all the way down to the waterfront, went to this little underground mall area, went back up, and then ended up in St. Lawrence at the market. So that gives you a feel for it. And I do want to plug the tour that we took. We did it through Get Your Guide, and it was called Show Me the City Walking Tour. So if you are in Toronto and you're looking for a great experience to see some things maybe you wouldn't see on a normal tourist trip, check that out. I think you'd really enjoy it. So with that being said, I think what I'm going to do in order to point out all the areas that we hit is I'm going to use these. I've had this set of puffy stickers for a long, long time. This is from Feed Your Craft. It's kind of covered up there, and they don't make stuff anymore. But I've had these forever, these puffy stickers, and you can see I haven't used a lot of them. This would be a great use for these, because really, what else am I going to use them for? It's kind of an odd shape. You don't see that very often, but even like the stars and hearts, I clearly haven't used a lot of at this point. But I feel like these colors would jump out from this map too, and it would make it really easy to see the points of interest that we hit. So I think I'm going to go with these. I've decided, just given that this map has less color than this one, I think I'm going to start with this one and do all my points on here that I can, and then I will assess, do I want to do the exact same thing here? Or do I want to try to do something different on this side? Since the map is different, it's more colorful, I could maybe do something else. I'm just not sure. One thing I did find interesting on here is you can actually see our hotel on here. I didn't realize it when I first looked at the map. We stayed at the One King West, which is right there. So I don't know, I feel like maybe I should highlight that because it's actually on the map, but we didn't see it as part of the tour, obviously. Okay, I think I've figured out my plan. This side, I'm going to do everything that we did that day, essentially. So I can do my hotel. We actually went up to Old City Hall and did Nathan Phillips Square that morning before the tour, and then came back to pick it up at Roy Thompson Hall. So it'll kind of show like we hit a lot around the city that day. So that's what I'm gonna do with this side. This side, still don't know, but now I've got a plan for this, and I can start putting on all of my stickers. I decided to only do the first three to see how I felt about it. Like, did it look good? Do I like it? I do. I think these colors jump out quite nicely. So I've got our hotel designated there. I've got Old City Hall. I just did it right under the name so you could see it. And then Nathan Phillips Square, same, I did it right above, but I love that you can see that purple. Actually, I just realized like that's not totally centered to the name. So let's move that over a little bit maybe. These are a little hard to move. You know what, actually I might need, do I have my tweezers in here somewhere? Are they in this little container? They are. So I have these tweezers from Cutter Bee. What do they call them? Tweezer bee, that's what they call them. So I can use these to help position the rest of the stickers. I have a couple more placed here. I realized that we also went to Eaton Center, which is kind of a mall area that's up here by City Hall. We went in there to a bookstore and had coffee and a breakfast item before we started walking more, so I designated that as well. And then there's Roy Thompson Hall where we picked up the tour, and then I realized we saw the CN Tower and Ripley's, or not Ripley's Aquarium, what's their stadium called? Rogers? Is it Rogers Stadium? It's got to be on here, right? Rogers Center. We walked by those as part of the tour, so that's their baseball stadium. Those do not appear on this map. They would be right here. So I am going to have to use both, which is fine. But I think I'll continue marking the ones on this side and then move over here. But between the two, I will get everything we did that day, which is awesome. Okay, I have all of my spots done on this side, so you can kind of see we went in a big loop because this is where we stayed. We were up here, we came back down here, and then finished over here. So it's kind of fun to see the route. I'm excited to have that in there. Now I'm going to switch over and just do a couple of things that are on here that we passed. And I like the fact that other things we did were also on here, but since I've marked them already or they were on our first day, I don't want to do that on this map. So it might end up just being the CN Tower and Rogers Center because I don't, oh no, we did stop at the harbor front. We were outside for a little bit, so I can do that as well. So I may only have just those three on this side. All right, now I have the other side done. I remembered we did see the Toronto Railway Museum. Our guide walked us up there and he said that now they've actually built like a bar in there. There's a brewing house or something as part of the complex, and that it's a fun place to go apparently. And I have pictures of it. So I have those three, which were all kind of grouped together. And then we were out on the waterfront between kind of the different ferry terminals there. And then these go together because here's where we were down here. That's right here. And then we just walked over into this water park mall area and went underneath to get back on the path system. So now I have all of those marked, which is awesome. And now I can put it together. All right, I have this turned over because I want this facing the back, so I need my holes to be on this side. Then I will put this on top of it once that's secured. So I just need to get this as centered as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just going to eyeball it. But I do want to make sure I line it up as best I can. This part always makes me nervous because if I don't get it right, this paper is thin. It will rip. So I just need to get the edge of the line that I can see here lined up with my map. It isn't perfect. I can see it's a hair off up here, but you know what? Don't care. It's good enough. And then this will go on top and it'll flip in the album like that. All right, you can see I have quite a bit of adhesive here. I've got top, bottom, and then diagonal across the middle just to make sure it's really gonna sit well on there. And then, similarly to putting this on, I just have to be careful. Because again, this is very thin paper. So once these are together, it would be very hard to pry them apart. So I want to line that up as best I can. Oop. There we go. Let's see how that looks. Now you can see this side is just a hair longer, it looks like, top and bottom, so I can easily trim that off. It won't affect anything because nothing goes right to the border. And look at that. All right, I will cut that off camera since that's all I have left to do. But I'm super excited to put this in my album. Here's another thing finished for Canada. Thanks for watching.